You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
You're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on. What is your motion, sir?
I have a motion to strike and dismiss.
What are the bases?
Basis of federal rules of civil procedure. Number one, there's no claim. There's no ratification of the claim.
There is a claim. There is a. You want me to read out I waived the reading of the information. You want me to read the claims, the allegations that have been made into the record? Do you need me to do that?
No, I don't. No, I don't, Your Honor.
I deny your motion on that basis. What else do you have to say? What else?
You deny my motion because...
All right, guys, buckle up. This case starts with serious tension. A father's walking into court, not to deny responsibility, but to ask for relief. He's overworked, overwhelmed, and underpaid. Yet the mother's planning to move cross-country with their kids. Judge Vonda B. doesn't waste a second. She slices through the noise and gets straight to business. You can feel the storm brewing. Both parents are on edge, and we know right away, this hearing isn't going to be your average courtroom routine.
Because of what, Your Honor?
Yes.
There is no real...
I denied your motion because there is a, and this is criminal procedure, not civil procedure. But I denied your motion because there is an allegation here.
You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. And so that's what I'm asking for. If there was a criminal matter, basically what you're telling me is that something has happened. Someone has either been damaged or someone has been or either someone has been damaged or someone has something has been come up missing. And if that's the case, then that means that there is a crime. And if there's a crime, then there is the what do you have that's saying that I did the crime? What you're saying that I created this crime that hurt this person, and if I hurt this person and I created the crime, then a third thing that you have to have is the identification of the person. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
Okay.
Okay, now things start to heat up. The father lays out his case. He's been juggling jobs and still can't keep up with rising child support. The kicker? He's not trying to dodge his duty. He just wants fairness. Judge Vonda listens, but don't think for a second she's buying just any sob story. She asks for proof, and that's where the weight of the moment kicks in. This man didn't just come in with words. He brought receipts, and that's where the energy shifts. You can almost hear the mother getting uneasy.
You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
And where did you get that? Where did you get that from? Where did you learn all that?
I've been studying for quite some time, trying to understand what's going on. I have a different perspective as to what's being said that happened. I'm understanding more necessary for a crime to go for them to bring a crime forward. I'm understanding that a bit more.
And where did you get that understanding?
I've done some Cornell law studies. I've also sat down with a couple of friends who have had some issues. I picked up wherever I could, just started to study the law. Just started to go back through Cornell law, started to figure out what was going on, and to understand the nature of how what a crime is, and everything else. So just a course of me searching it out.
And you're citing Cornell law for all of that you just said to the court?
No, what I did, Your Honor, was I realized that one of the biggest portions that you have to have is you have to have the corpus delicti.
where things get icy. The mother hits back, claiming the father hasn't truly been there for the kids and that her Florida move is all about opportunity. But Judge Vonda's not buying vague dreams. She wants details, not drama. The mother's trying to play the victim, but you can see it. The judge sees right through her. This isn't just about relocation. It's about power, control, and who's really putting the children first. The tension's thick, and we're only just getting started.
What do you mean, what is the corpus delicti?
What is your understanding of what corpus delicti is?
That is the corpus delicti is the law that's saying that there is a crime that's being committed. So in order to do that, you have to show the corpus delicti, which is you saying this is what happened. This is how this person was damaged.
So,
there is no
the
person.
Officer on this day, on these dates, because I got a lot of them, said that
I
you
object.
drove.
I object. The officer works.
Don't interrupt
Okay,
me.
I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. My apologies.
The officer says that you drove a vehicle that wasn't registered and wasn't titled, or titled and or untitled, that you drove without a valid driver's license, that you drove without valid insurance. Again, on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without a valid driver's license and no insurance. And then on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without unregistered or untitled or both, and drove without a valid driver's license, repeat offender, that you failed to have a trailer plate.
This moment right here, it's where the courtroom air turns electric. Judge Vonda pulls up those job numbers, and when the math starts, reality hits hard. The father's actual take-home pay paints a painful picture. There's barely enough left after support and expenses. It's not laziness, it's survival. You see his voice crack just a little, and the judge clocks it. She's not here to coddle or condemn, just calculate. The system has rules, and she's laying them down like concrete.
Your vehicle. And on another occasion, on the same occasion that you failed to secure, that they allege you failed to secure the load, failed to have a trailer plate on your vehicle, that you didn't provide a valid driver's license. So those are the crimes. And in the state of Michigan, whether you agree or not, they are crimes. So based on your motion and all of that stuff you talked about, corpus delicti and things like that, the court denies the motion. Okay, based on those reasons I just said. Now, how do you want to move forward? Because wait a minute, I'm not finished.
My apologies, Your Honor.
How do you want to move forward? Because in my experience, someone that comes into court, as you do, you do not want to take an offer. You do not believe that you need to have plates or registration or insurance. And you just disregard all of that portion of the law, and either you are going to move forward by having a trial, or you're going to take a deal. What do you want to do, sir?
Your Honor, first I want to put my objection on the record. And at that point,
whatever your objection is noted. What do you want to do, sir? Do you want a trial? You have two.
Watch this, because this is where Judge Vonda starts drawing a line in the sand. She challenges the mother's plans to relocate and wants evidence that this move is actually best for the children, not just more convenient for her. The mother stumbles. No school records, no solid job offer. And now, the judge's tone gets sharper. This isn't just about hopes and dreams. It's about structure and stability for those kids. And if you're paying attention, you can tell the judge is losing patience.
Mr. Gray, and you can choose to answer it or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what I surmise and what I've heard, and I don't know if you're alleging the same thing, is that and you basically did allege the same thing, that no crime has been committed because no person has been, the people of the state of Michigan are in danger of you driving without the proper documentation or anything like that. But I don't, and I'm gonna surmise, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you're gonna say that there's no jurisdiction to be able to pull you over because no one has been injured. Is that correct?
I think that what I'm saying is that the city of Detroit had an officer pull me over to say that you're not following these rules. And my stance is, okay, well, then that's fine. If we're following rules, then therefore.
Now, here's the twist. Judge Vonda starts drilling into the emotional part. She asks the tough question, what's really motivating this move? Is it bitterness? Escape? Or is it genuine betterment for the kids? The mother tries to recover, but her story is falling apart. Meanwhile, the father's nodding quietly, knowing the truth is finally surfacing. This is no longer just about finances or relocation. It's about credibility. And right now, the scale's tipping heavily in one direction.
So that is that is the way that I proceed to say, okay, well then, if we're playing cards and we playing show me yours, if this is your hand, then this is mine, and let's proceed accordingly to the law. That's it. That's my only standing is if someone doesn't stand up every once in a while and define the edges, then they all disintegrate and people lose rights.
And you know something? With that being said, I would agree with you 1,000%. Mm-hmm. That's why I pride myself, and I hope I'm doing a good job for the citizens that come in here and the police for that matter and the prosecution, that I am calling the balls and strikes right. And if something doesn't proceed as it should, then I will dismiss the case one way or the other. But in my short time on this bench and in my time at practicing law as a defense attorney, I get this, they can't pull me over. I've heard the corpus delicti, first time the civil procedure has been thrown at me. But
we've reached the verdict buildup, and Judge Vonda doesn't flinch. She starts making her ruling, breaking it down with cool, firm logic. The father's support is adjusted, but not erased. He gets some breathing room. The move to Florida? Denied. The mother's face tightens, and you can feel that silent shock ripple through the courtroom. This isn't revenge, it's resolution. Judge Vonda just reminded everyone, this courtroom protects children, not parental egos. Powerful moment, no theatrics needed.
All of these officers, everybody else has to follow the rules. So if it comes down to it,
what I'm going to hope that you do by the time you come back on the trial date jury trial date is going to be March the 18th, 2025.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're probably going to have an audience because everybody follows me on these cases all the time.
I understand.
All right, and I don't know if that's what you want, but we're gonna do that.
It's not that.
March the 18th, 2025. We're gonna have a final pre-trial date. Final pre-trial. This is to you, Mr. Bowman, especially the day before on February 17th, 2025 at 8:30. So Mr. Gray and Mr. Bowman, Mr. Bowman, I need you to have all your officers appear on that date. Who's ever going to state these allegations so that we know that we're not just summoning the people of the city of Detroit to a jury that's not actually going to go. So all parties must appear, and that can be via Zoom. And the trial is going to be in person. All right. All parties must appear on final pretrial date and obviously on the trial date. And what I would implore you to do is you need to figure out the right game, because it doesn't sound like you're playing the right game.
I understand, Your Honor. I appreciate, first and foremost, let me say, I appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate you sitting here and engaging with me at this level. So I recognize what you're saying, and so yeah, I guess it's to the table we go. So
yeah, but get your game in order, because I'm just giving you a little heads up. If you come in with that game on the jury trial date, then more than likely you'll lose, unless you can find one of those jurors or a couple of those jurors, or even all of them, to have some sympathy for you, sir.
I got a whole basis for understanding, and so yeah, if you know it.
Well,
it
that
is
basis that you outlined shortly today is not.
What was flawed in my what was flawed, Your Honor? What is flawed in my?
We already discussed it. The federal rules of civil procedure that you brought up as a motion to dismiss, not the right basis. The corpus delicti, they do have a corpus delicti. They do have a crime that they say has been committed. And if you read the MCL, the Michigan court rules, and the Michigan statutes, then you'll see those crimes outlined there. They have them on the tickets. They got the statute numbers that are on the tickets. So that's not the right basis. So you're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game here.
Okay. All right.
And just like that, it's over, but the impact lingers. Judge Vonda B. ends the session with a lesson in accountability, clarity, and real justice. Both parents leave changed. This wasn't about winning or losing. It was about showing up with facts, not feelings. That's the standard Judge Vonda sets, and she doesn't lower it for anyone. If you made it this far, you already know. These aren't just cases, they're wake-up calls. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.